DJ House Paint, Sound Kind Special.
wa mudejiwa abo fembale we koya mudejiyo sida wa mudejiyo sida wa mudejiyo wenu kwaya taina yando yeinao taina yando yeinao taina yando yeinao
To LIBERIA Public Radio. We're going to be rocking it again tonight. Things are shaking up in Monrovia, folks. And thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We will try to enlighten you here tonight by giving you some of our own personal experiences when it comes to Liberia. And so, because some of the things that are going on, especially what I read this afternoon on Front Page Africa, just brought a lot of memories, bad memories back about Liberia, to be honest with you. And I'll try to share a little bit of it. I'm not going to share all of it with you. I want to thank all of you again, and once again, let us continue to pray for one another because it's very important that we pray for one another. Okay? Because the issue that is affecting our brothers and sisters in Liberia, whatever it is that's going on, they're not talking about killing cows. They're not talking about eating and satisfying, going to bar, drinking, and stuff like that. They are talking about they even want to be a government trying to protect these lives and property of the country. That's their duty. They strictly have the constitutional mandate to do that. So they also under tremendous pressure to make sure things are peaceful in Liberia. You can't say the government trying to provoke or whatever. You can't say that for me. On the other hand, the protesters themselves, things they're talking about, those are things that are affecting Liberians all over the country. So you see, we are in a very, very big, I'm not going to say mess, but I think we have to find reason to make sure this thing doesn't go south on us. Because it's going to be so much, not only embarrassing, but it's going to be shameful, very shameful, to have people from all over the world to come to Liberia to give us peace, and then we ourselves unable to handle that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the appetite for homeless people, the one Jimmy Carter doing here? People going from state to state building houses for homeless or for poor people. Then they build you one beautiful house. They give you the house. But because of your neglect, because of your inability to maintain, in less than 2-3 years, the house starts leaking. You're unable to maintain the thing about house. The house starts going south. Can you imagine? Do you want Jimmy Carter and his people to come back again to fix you another house? And you claim all over that you have the ability, you're capable, that you're responsible, that you can maintain. Same thing here. Folks, I'm going to go into safety. But usually when I come on air, it's just like something will just start and I just start going downhill from there. Safety. Friday afternoon, folks. Friday evening on your side. Whatever area you're in, listening to me, watching me, please stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Accident can just happen like this without you even realizing. Because you don't go inviting accident. In fact, if you drive most of the time, you see some of these people on the highway cutting people off. And you say, oh, this guy going to be involved in an accident. Usually, most of the time, they don't. But people who are trying to take their time to be careful, accident can happen. That's why they call it accident. Please stay safe. If you have to go out tonight, it's Friday evening, you work all day, you need to wind down, that's fine. If you have to go out to a friend's house, they're having something, you get there and you want to drink, perhaps you have decided, I'm going to waste myself tonight. That's okay as well. As long as you don't waste yourself and then try to get behind the wheel. They have done so many tests. And that's why they come up with these breathalyzers. Wow, Samson told you something. You say something to you say he knows anybody drinking and driving business. How come you know breathalyzer all the kind of stuff? Well, that's years and years and years ago. At that time when I was involved, my 26-year-old at that time was only 2 months old. That's almost 26 years ago. At that time, in fact, when the incident like that happened, the kinds of penalty and problem you face now, those days, they're not like that. So we're speaking from experience. Those things don't end well. It costs you money, especially nowadays. It costs you money, it costs you time, it costs you grief, including grief within the family. So please, don't do that. You get to a friend's house, you're going to be drinking tonight. Before you start drinking, be honest. with the person who wants you in. Say, look, here's my key. I'm going to try to drink here tonight. But if you see that I'm incapable of driving, don't give me my key. I'll be cursing you, oh, because you got my property. But remember, that will be liquor talk. I didn't know I was going to use that term, liquor talk. Samson told Friday afternoon, folks, but on a very serious note. And you just let him know. If he's a good friend, he will understand. And yes, most likely will happen. You're drunk. Give me my key, man. What you say? You know how I got in America? That you don't want to bring me here? Wait, man, give me my key, man. You start cussing. If he's married, sooner or later, what was it? Get a man key, man. Hey, man, get in trouble. You want to get in trouble? That's business. You can't be cussing you, embarrassing you in front of your friend then. If he's truly your friend, you will say, don't listen to him. We know who he is. He's usually not like this. I'm not going to give him a key. Then the friend, before you give him the key, though, you also have, the person who's going to be drinking, you have to give him at least $30 to $40. Say, if anything, all else fail, call Uber for me, put me in a car, and if you don't trust Uber, you take me home, and here's another $40 just because you want to drink. The $80 you're going to pay tonight for that safety is better than the thousands and thousands of dollars that you're going to pay later. It's better than the struggle that you and your family are going to face if these things don't happen, if they go south on you tonight. But why do we even have to go that route? You work, you want to wind down, get yourself a lot of liquor that you can afford. Drink in your house. But then, there's another thing, you're not quite free here from Samson told. Drinking in a house does not give you permission to put your hand on the people's dollar that you get with you. Because fasting, you pay direct for that woman. The woman comes to you because she likes you. The children that are in a house, don't put your hand on them because you say you're drunk. Don't touch anybody because it could be worse. Now, whenever you be kicked out, child support coming. They will take your kids away from you. And the woman will make sure they don't take that kid. So that means you're going to go. She's going to keep her kids. Woman and children business, you don't play with it. You know that one. So when you're drinking, the best way you can handle this, let me give you an example. Flip, and these Facebook, you can call them on TV. Now, before you go, you call Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio, live stream. And Samson to start going to the government, then you start cussing Samson to. What kind of fully men from total coming to waste people time? By that time, you're drunk. So it doesn't matter, but you're in your house. You're laying down in your couch. Who cares? Don't start trouble. Nothing happens. The only big thing that's going to happen, if everything goes well, tomorrow morning you're going to have a headache. You will start regretting, why did I even put myself in it? I need pepper soup. Folks, this is safety. This is Liberian safety. Again, I want to welcome all of you again tonight. As usual, we try to put some fun into these things, but they're very serious. They're very serious. Your safety is very important to all of us. On a very serious note, one of the things perhaps all of us don't realize, you have people that love you. If anything were to happen to you, the grief of family members, you can't. If you were to be here, and I hope you're still here, it's not right to put family members through stuff that you yourself can't control. So the best thing we can do, let's continue to pray for one another. And God is wonderful. God will guide all of you tonight. Whatever you put your hand in, even if it is drinking, God is wonderful. I'm just giving you some safety tape. Take care of your car, and your car will take care of you. Let's get on with it. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, folks. Things, the information coming from back home, they're not right. But before I do that, let's as usual, the president, Dr. Weir, president of the Republic of Liberia. Folks, let me just show you who this man is. Duly elected. 61.5% duly elected. President of the Republic of Liberia. Young, too. You know, one of those 80-year-old presidents running around? No. Young, very young. You take, okay, why don't you do this? If you think the men are young, go to Liberia and say, let's raise. You think you can run past Dr. We are big here. The man put you, he put you on the football field for you to run. From there to the center line, you start breathing like the car already. Why, Dr. We are going up and down. You heard it? I will play the video. You said you're not tech training before? The kind of training you take in Liberia, you think that kind of training I used to take? I'm not taking Samson, I don't want to waste your time. Let's go to the video. Have you taken training before, he says. He's in shape. Dr. Weir. Samson told Liberian Public Radio. Let's see, during the campaign, what Dr. Weir was going through. Have you taken training before? Now, this video this time around, I want you to pay close attention. I know you know about the video about walking in the mud and what have you. But I want you to pay close attention. As he tried to step over certain muddy area, his foot that has left behind in order to plant the left foot, right foot, whatever he was going to plant, that foot was giving up. But because of his ability, training that he has received, he wasn't able to go back on his backside. If it was Samson toe, or even Afonso so, he was going to fall down. But it is Dr. Weir, former football player, and these things are instant. Watch that. Just pay attention to the way he's going to step. You will see the other foot start sliding. But immediately, he was able to brace himself, not just with a stake, but the training, the instinct of that training came very, very fast running to his mind, and he was able to brace himself. I enjoyed that. Let's watch that. Samson told Liberian Public Radio. Folks, Samson told. Again, we're going to have a good time here this evening, but the news coming from Liberia, they're not good. We'll get to that. Let's watch this.
Let's make sure you do that same thing for you so you can hold. Yeah, we won't hold the stake. No, I don't need shoulder roll. I need my stake. What kind of junior not there before? No, I beg you. Let's make sure you do that same thing for you so you can hold.
There you have it. There you have it. And if you watch that step, those were steps of former footballer. If you know how to play football, you can't balance yourself like that. You will fall down. And you saw Dr. Weir balancing himself, coming down that slope and going up. The shoe, I don't know, you saw it, he ain't got no, I'm getting what it calls some kind of shoes, and most of you that are watching me right now will have no clue what type of shoes those are. They call it grape banners. Those are getting ready to speak real total English because Scobie, with great banner in it. Though great banner, Scobie, you wear them, you can't fall down. You don't know what it is. Not whatsoever. I will look it up because I've seen people. I got some picture of the grip balance. One of these days I will show you what I'm talking about. But those are shoes before iron stud and all kind of thing came all the way to graduate. Those are the kind of thing we used to wear to go play football. Grip balance. You are good. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. A very serious note, folks. I want to welcome all of you again tonight to say thank you, thank you very much for joining us. Let's take it serious. It's a Friday evening. We have to put some fun in it. But what is happening in Liberia? When I read this story this evening, okay, it says from Front Page Africa, Liberia, armed security officer storm popular beach resort. See CCTV camera over where step down protest. And in the report, in the article itself, it's terrible. Terrible. Those who are involved in these kinds, the people have always found enemy of the state, especially under Dr. Weir. And I've always talked about it. But this one passed mark. This thing reminded me it's so bad of my own experience. And I'll just tell you briefly. I'm not going to tell you why and how and all the kinds of stuff, but I'll just tell you briefly. My own incident in Liberia, I used to go from one house to another. People were telling me, okay, tonight you sleep here. Tomorrow night you sleep here. And so forth. I'll be in Fiamma. I had a friend at the time. I'll be in her house, and you hear people. We know where you are. You think we know you here? The next day, that group in the community would tell me, Mr. Toe, you can't sleep here tonight. And then Mr. Toe would move to another place. Behind the mansion, not behind the mansion itself. They're right on the opposite. They have a road I go through there now. Go sleep there with my son. And every time that I move around, my son, who is now 30-something, I had him on my shoulder everywhere that I go. This gentleman that always come on TV called Pa Xavier. They want to call Pa Xavier. He's my cousin. And he used to tell me, go, if anything happened to you, we're here. Don't worry. Go sleep. And then the next day I will come and explain to him what had happened the night before. He will tell me, nobody's stupid to put their hand on you. What they did is enough. They're not going to test you. And I used to, sometimes even going to the movie in Monrovia, it's like you have a head, you have eyes behind your head. Out of a certain people, you know, people that used to be your friends. When you go say hi to them, the way they greet you, it's like you're some kind of criminal. Oh, something, how you doing? Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, I'll see you. And you're wondering to yourself, what have I done? It's the kinds of stuff that is happening right now. This one, they're not just looking for enemy of the state. This is bad. My situation was bad, but I survived it because of the progressive. They were able to help to get me through, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm alive today because of them, and I appreciate that. But when I read the story today, especially when they went in and started looking for things, I remember Pastor Zawiya used to have a shop on Camp Johnson Road. We'll be sitting down in the shop. I'll be talking to Miller. Miller, he's dead now, Joy Shoro. We'll all be sitting down. Before you look, group of people, uniform, no uniform, they all show up. What's going on? No, nothing. We're watching. Then they will go upstairs, call Pazaria upstairs. You will come down. Say, you start harassing people. Nobody doing anything here. And then that group will leave. It went on for some time until I left. Like I said, I'll just leave you like that. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because when I read this story tonight, it brought some bad memory. There are people in that country that like to stay on with these kinds of stuff because it makes them relevant in a community. If they can't argue about the substance of anything else, what can they do? The far enemy of the state. Why would the 15 armed security officers storm the premises of Tropicana Beach and result to do a search and siege for what? They say they suspected, and according to them, they rate the issue. The Minister of Justice, by and through the office of the county attorney of Moserado County, most respectfully request, quote, and your honor, for the issuance of the rate of search and seizure to be served on the premises of the Lebanese man, I don't know his name, Samurai Canada, Tropicana Beach, Tinker Village property, Moserado County, Republic of Liberia. The purpose of this request is for the discovery and seizures of drugs, arms, and ammunition, payment of check to individual support to individual to support the We Are Step Down campaign. So according to the story, these people went in there because they believed that people were going to pay the COP or whatever. When people just stop these things. If you can't help to be honest with Dr. Weir, please get away. Here's the thing I'm saying again. I said the same thing back in 1985. I keep bringing it up. The people you're pushing around, looking for this and that, you think they would, unless you go shoot them on sight. And they got relatives. We've been on this route before. Back in 1981, when certain group of Liberians were arrested, one justice minister called Chipo, that night, I listened to him. He said the people that are being arrested right now, and people are saying they're going to be killed. Eventually they were killed anyway. But these people got relatives. And the relatives have friends, and the friends have friends, and the friends have friends. What you do to these people now is going to linger on. Nobody was listening. In fact, about a week or so later, Chipo was somehow pushed aside. These things don't end well. And I keep saying that the Liberians we have today, they're sophisticated. You can't push people around that much. They will push back. The system we have in Liberia, not only Liberia, the democracy system, whatever you want to call it, for me, it's a bluffing. I keep telling you guys this. It's a system set up to bluff. And the bluff can be called. Somebody can call government bluff. Then it become issue. Because if the government comes and says something to you under arrest, and I said, no, you can't put me under arrest, I defy the government, I call their bluff. They now go, just so that they will show that this bluffing is not just individuals, for everybody to show in the community that no, this may call our bluff, we got to show that we get power. We got to show that this thing bluffing we're doing is for real. They will not try to, when I say no, they will beat me anyway. But the point that I'm making, you're going to a resolve. Because you'll say somebody paying them off, paying people off. What happened to the investigation you started the other time? You'll say when Rufus says they pay people $200,000, whatever. First thing is when the government said they ain't got money to pay people. But they got $200,000 to pay people not to protest. Does it make sense? When people, You take time. I left from here. I don't want to touch that story. I don't want to touch, but I'll just give you a little bit. I left from here. I was forced to get out of this place, to be honest with you. But when I get to Monterey, I got in Monterey on a Thursday. Sunday, oh, hell broke loose. And people that were supposed to be part of that group, one of them was in Grand G there. When they in BI Joseph, all he had to do was to walk across and he was going to be in Ivory Coast. And they were not going to touch him. He decided, no, I'm not going to do that because I have nothing to do with anything. He came back to Monrovia. He's no longer with us. He's dead now. The other one was with IE in Grand Bassa County that Sunday, playing football. He doesn't play, but he liked IE. IE was the team. For me, Barrow. No, nothing else. But I'm giving you the little stuff. These things don't end well. They protest. We will protest. You can't protest. We will protest. You can't protest. Somebody get hurt. Up to this point, as we speak, the incident that happened to CDC when that young man was killed, up to this point, it's a battle cry for CDC, which I don't blame them to do that. You'll be careful. This thing start, it's not going to be anything. There's a song by the young man, they call him G. Were Satu. Sung in Crown Dalet. Music, beautiful music. But those of us from the countryside, and that's one of the reasons why I don't like making farm business, because I don't like morning ring. In the morning, early in the morning, okay? You're leaving to go on a farm. But when it's ready to rain, whether you get found, you can get found. That small rain that comes early in the morning, it's not coming for one person. So when you need, it's not for one person. It will rain. It will rain. You don't know how important Liberia is right now. Those of you that really didn't see much of the war because you were much younger and people were carrying you here and there. And so the real effect of the war, you've never really had that real stuff. Something happened, boom, they shoot, then your mom pick you up, you run away. It's not that much. But those that went through it, either they were defending themselves or they were fighting. If they actually get out of that position, the trauma that is in our country is unbelievable. Your mother shake the tree. The tree, your mother shake it. When you shake it, all of the tree leaves start falling. You can't take that leaf and put it back. Please. The international community saw the wise to come to our aid and brought peace. And they decided not only will we let you guys be peaceful, but we will give you something, and we ourselves will come and protect that peace. And this is why some of us today continue to blame the old man. Because as mother, she got kids. After being the mother, she was in a perfect position to give us some structure. That even something stupid man like Samson told can be president, the country will still move on. But we never have that. The peace, they're talking about, oh, the peace here, the peace there, the peace there. Oh, the people. Because you have peace, because Liberians want peace. It has nothing to do with ML. It has nothing to do with ECOMO, whatever you want to call them. Liberian tired fighting. Please, you start pushing people around. You start pushing people. You're not going to succeed by pushing people around. Yet today you might carry guns. You might be in power. Remember Jenkins Scott, folks? Watch your step, eh? These things don't end well. I can sit here in my Sacramento studio and talk to you, but I have relatives back home. The same thing I used to say back in 1985. When I stood in a hall and said, look, whatever it is that you want to do it for man. You're not going to push him around easily. He's going to resist. And what happened? Let's put it aside, I said. Even if you think I'm being affected, or on the other hand, right now, yeah, because of my trouble and things like that, you think, yeah, I should be happy. No, because I am from Toll Town. And I told them, I said, the day you're ready to go, because Tucson behind me, when you're ready to go to Tucson, you can't tell me, say something to you and your Toll people, you're in the Toll Town people, you're excuse, you'll never not say that. Toll Town will be destroyed as well. So what makes you think that some of us should just let you guys, without making any comment here, and say, yeah, we support? We don't, I don't support it. And exactly what I said. When time came, all the way from Babli, going all the way to the last town in Grand Gide, everyone, Toll Town, Boca Town, Bia Joson, Blomblio, everybody, they left. The same thing I was saying, they were not coming to say, oh, your excuse, yeah? Crown people will not come for it, we're going to Tucson. Even if you're going to Tucson. So people will just say, yeah, you go ahead and do that. Tucson people that human being. What makes you think this thing you're starting again? This thing here. If you guys have met the COP people at this particular result, and they try to put on resistance the way you guys are arms like that, what you think would have been the result? And you think at this stage, you will kill a permanent Liberian. Because the government have made these CO people permanent now. You will kill a permanent Liberian in broad daylight. And then you say, yeah, because we were trying to arrest. And first of all, in your such letter here that the judge ordered, and that's one of the things you did to you did to Roof FM, and the judge told you you're full of nonsense. Because you went and told the judge one thing and then you did another thing. Yeah, the same thing here. They serve you, the judge gave you the right to go and search. In the process, you start arresting people. That was not part of the process. This is what I keep saying. You'll be careful. You'll be careful. You'll be careful. These things, if we're not careful, as people, we've been there before. You'll know the experience. Look at the country right now. It's pretty much like a brain drain. Most of the smart Liberian, I'm not going to say all of them because there's still some smart people over there, but most of them, hard-working Liberians, they're in the diaspora, working, making money. Hard workers. What make you think these same people that are in the diaspora working, making money, they can't do the same thing like bro? But with this kinds of condition, you want people to come running home? First of all, there's only a few people in that place that are in control. You go there before they take you to say, okay, yeah, you're coming to help, yeah, then they want money for you to help. They want you to pay them so you will help them do certain things. All of these big shot in Liberia that I know, all of them pay money. All of them pay money to get those positions. Ain't nobody over there to tell me, say something to the person, pay money. Every one of them pay money. I say so. But the point here is this. Because you pay money, and therefore you think that the other people are not Liberian, you're making mistake. What I read here this evening blows my mind. It completely threw me out. Because then I started saying to myself, wow, this is the same thing they were doing to me. Okay? And that was about 30 some more years ago. Yeah, we are. It only takes one person to say, oh, I hear to say, oh, I saw. And then you try to, because of the tension in the country, there are those who want relevant. They want to be relevant in the community. So they say things. You follow it. Look at it. Can you tell us now where you saw over there? Where the money? And your custom made his video. I'm not even going to play that one tonight. Made a video, he said they were there. But more Ali tell them. So what kind of business is this? Frighten people because they want to demonstrate. If you don't want them to demonstrate, then deal with them. If you don't want them to be in the street, we all know. Nobody, and for me, I don't want them to be in the street either. But they are Liberians. Deal with them. Or utilize as a government, utilize the judicial system. Send these people to court and let a court order. But the way in fact, I take that back. With the kinds of rate this man, the judge then giving, I don't even want you to go to court because who knows where I was saying our courthouse and people say something else. But if the court is genuine, utilize the judiciary system. And the court can put a stay in their protest order. Henry Costa, Mo Ali. Yeah, you say they're not working in the government. But Senator Dillon, Representative Yeka Koluba, they will not go above a court order and say we're not going to listen to the court order because they are member of the government. They're not going to do that. So if you want all of these things to not to happen, there are a lot of things. If you're going to come up with a statement like this to say that people wanted to look at this. One of the living room, they were bed and stuff. They searching people places. Okay, if you want to do that, why couldn't you have done this? If you think you have evidence or security, why couldn't you have done this to say you go to court, find something in the Constitution. Something is in that Constitution that the judge can use to put a stay on it. Putting a stay on a protest does not mean they're not going to protest. But the judge will say, you're waiting now. There's the probable cause here that the government perhaps has certain things here they're talking about that your protest may be violating certain part of the Constitution. I don't know yet. I will look into it. But in the meantime, there's a stay on the protest. And most of all of them will accept. They will be angry. Because they themselves, whatever they're doing here with this protest COP, they're building an institution, part of the government. Because they're going through a process. And if they are successful, the Constitution is going to be strengthened more. You heard Costa the other day. Folks, these things are not something to rush into. The protesters, if you listen to them, they're not quite all anxious to get in the street. They're telling us they are flexible, they said. When the government want to negotiate, we're ready. But then you'll say you don't want to talk to them. They are Liberians. They're not Ghanaians. You don't want to talk to them because you're angry. To be president of a republic, you got stupid people like Sansinto, part of that republic. You got to take that into consideration. Not everybody will be as smart as you are. Take it into consideration. Okay, I'm president of the republic. It's Sansinto from Total, right? That stupid man, yeah, okay. Then I'm part of that process. So when you're dealing with us, then you come up with something. There's where I work right now. You know my big mouth. There's a young guy. He and I about the same, a little bit older than him, but he's a big shot with cow trim. Big shot. But you hear myself when I'm ready to talk. He thinks he hear myself from Town. In fact, he knows so much about Town, it's unbelievable. So one day I told him, look, I was just making it up with my big mouth. Where position? I don't get no position. I don't know anything. So I told him, look, they play here. I got my empire, right? He said, I said, okay. He's a big shot now, big shot. Way above me. I said, okay, they think you play with me right now? You play with me? I'll just tell the people to fire you. So he looked at me. When I said that, he started laughing. So our other friend, who was also a liberal, and this guy that I'm talking about, he's conservative. Oh, he loved Donald Trump. And so he and us, we don't see eye to eye. Our other friend, he's a liberal. But they're all from Germany or something like that. Anyway, I call them German boys. But anyhow, so the guy looked at me, all three of us. He said, Samson. I said, yeah. He said, let me tell you this thing here. You see here? I say, yeah. He said, you see here? I say, yeah. He said, this is where you put yourself, and this is where you are. So there's a gap in between. Who's going to fill it? That is the gap that we're finding ourselves in right now. The protester, in fact, the language that is being used now, but before I get to the protester, folks, let me wrap this up, then I can jump onto the protester. Back to this topic. Government. You have the power. You have the power to do just about anything. You saw what happened during Doe administration. People will come to the president and say, oh, this happening, oh, this happening, oh. And if the president was not careful, we would have had civil war long before that time. Because that's what we do. Jealousy is bad. I give you an example about myself, then I will leave it. I'm not going to tell you everything. So when I was growing up in Zwedru, there was a guy. I will call his name because he's dead now. They call him Isaac Doba, Nyabo guy. And he has a little brother called Matthew. And then he have another little brother called Che. So they were living maybe 200-300 feet away from where we were living. We were living, and then on the other side is Saru house is on the other side. Then Matthew, Isaac, and Che, they were living down here, and then we were living on the other side going towards the AG mission. This is Nyabo Road now. This is Nyabo Road. Those of you from Zwedru, I'm giving you a description a long time ago, 200 years ago. Anyway, so I said, Dubber, they were going to 80 day. 80 day, we had a giant. What kind of giant combi eater? Oh, did I say combi eater? Oh, Samson told they were killing you today. But 80 day was strong in football. But anyway, that's besides the point. Oh, 80 day, we kill me tonight. Okay, anyway. But when I said Dubber, I believe was in the 7th grade at that time. But every morning when we were going, I would take his book. Put his book up because I was going to Cali School, and Cali School is behind 80 day. So when we go, I gave him his book, we leave. Years and years later, when my trouble started in Monrovia, the first time I was arrested in Monrovia, taken to the mansion, because they said Samson told brought gun from America. So they take me to the executive mansion. To produce the guns that I brought from here. Somebody who was deported, they say he brought guns. These are things that true story. That's how countries start damaging. They say I brought guns. So because he was the director of something, SSL, whatever it was. And my cousin, who's now in Town, he was working with him directly. So he said, who is the Samson told man? He said, oh, then my cousin said, I know him. He said, okay, then you and the same group of people to come get me. So when they got there, people, yes. Life is funny, oh. Yeah, me, I'm Bloku. I'm here. I love it when I do that. So some people call on me. And you know in Morale, they say call on me. Some people call on me. Put me in the Jeep. Yeah, you can't start trouble. Took me to the mansion. I'm not going to go into every detail. We got to the mansion, executive mansion. So they say, okay, so my cousin, all that time he keep telling me, don't say anything, just sit tight, because the news they got at the mansion was that I brought guns, and I was deadly. So they have to be very careful how to deal with me. So anyway, we got to the mansion, And they sent for Double, who is then the director. So the chief, they sent for him. So they said, oh, Samson Toe downstairs. So he came. When he came, he saw me, he recognized me straight as Samson Brown, because when I was in Zedru, my name was Samson Brown. So he said, but Samson Brown, what you doing here? Oh, I see you for a long time. What? Yeah, where you been? So I said, oh, yeah, I just got back from the state. Oh, what you mean? I said, yeah, I'm Samson Toe. He said, no, you can't be. So the other people, the security, they said, yeah, that's Samson Toe. He said, what? I said, yeah. So he asked, well, it said you got gun. So I explained my story. The first thing Isaiah said was, this country going to go to hell. We're going to have serious problem in the country. This is the young man that used to carry my books. And he just heard his story. And people demand they be there in the executive mansion that he brought gun. Go home. But that was not the end of the story. These things happen. People will say things. People will make up stories to be permanent in the community. You be careful. You be careful. If things start going south, you can't bring it back. And here's the news that I got for you before I jump on to the COP. Middle East is on fire right now. You think these people going to, the same thing, when it started. Where were U.S.? They were getting ready, they were in Middle East. And they wasn't paying attention to Liberia because they had their hand full. They just sent thousands and thousands of troops again in the Middle East. You think you'll start something in our country, they will leave Middle East and come to Liberia? You'll stop. You'll find solution. So some of us will have the opportunity to continue to do this thing, what we're doing. Because when people's children start dying, none of us will be able to have the face to come on platform and say, intellectual platform, nothing, because people's children dying. You can't talk about that. I'm speaking from experience. Please, let us don't go through that. Let us don't repeat ourselves. Samson told LeBron Paparito, I've said a lot here tonight about myself, but that's okay. I'm giving you an example on a very serious note. I'm giving you an example of when we're not careful, how people will make up stories just to get things, certain things. And by the time you realize that this person have lied to you, other people have been hurt, disgraced, or whatever. Okay. Let me go on now to the COP itself. Okay. The COP right now, I'm not too sure what the situation is, but the latest that I got was from the churches, Council of Churches. They said they're still negotiating. My brothers and sisters, you'll try and let's find reason to have these things resolved. They're very important, very important. So, the COP themselves, I'm going to play Costa here, the latest interview with them, not the one he did tonight. I don't want to touch that one, okay? I don't want to touch that one. That's about this incident being reported on Front Page Africa, which I just gave you here, okay? But what I want to talk about now is that's Dr. Weah, President of the Republic of Liberia. We can't miss that. But what I want to talk about, COP themselves, I don't believe they're anxious to get in the street. But of course, if you people defy you. What people say, what may mention me in there? And so, so let me go ahead and play you this. I know most of you have seen it. Where Costa is going to be telling us, because they had a meeting, and after the meeting, he was giving a report. But they are setting, when you listen to people, try to pick up certain words that the person is saying, okay? There are certain words that he used in this brief interaction with the press. And see if you can pick it up. and see if this is the kinds of people or this is the kind of man that determined to be in the street come Monday. If this is the kind of man that's, I don't want to talk. I'm going in the street. Let's see that. In fact, if you watch the video also, not the entire, because I'm not playing the entire video. Yega Kaluba also said, we're going to change our tune. I think these people have recognized that because of the language that was used, because some of the language that was coming out of them as the leader of the organization were not conducive to the plight of the organization. In other words, for them to go protest. And I've been defending them in a sense like I'm not a member of them, but what I'm saying, the defense that I gave is that individual member of the COP has the right to say whatever they want to say. But if the COP come out with an article or a paper or anything to present, and those statements that is being made by the individual members, if they are not reflected in that letter as the COP communique, then it means nothing. The chairman of COP, Henry Costa, made some statement which I consider to be reckless. However, and this is what I want you to take again, Henry Costa was going on to say, we're going to bring George Weah down. We will do everything, the COP, the demonstration that George Weah bringing down business. However, when they presented their paper, the paper that can be used in the court. Because you can take Henry Costa a video and go play it. And they will ask you, if you play as a prosecutor, who is he? What station was it? Do you see COP on anything in there? Where is the government connection with COP with Costa? Because he's a chairman. Okay. So if I'm a member of a particular group and I stand in public and start insulting SY, does it mean the whole group that's the group position? Far from it. Far from it. And we should be able to compartmentalize these kinds of things when we're dealing with human beings that are putting together to be one. You have to be able to understand that as a group, we speak with one voice. However, individual member of that group can be singing different tune. But as long we offer certain statement as a group, that is the statement we're going to go by. And just to demonstrate to you, on a very serious note, just to demonstrate to you this Friday afternoon, Henry Costa, in fact, I will go deeper than that. Henry Costa, to tell you that he's not the only player in the COP. For months, his son on his show, George Weah, will step down. We'll break it down. When the COP ready to send their letter asking for protection, they could have stated that because that has been the position of an individual who having to be the chairman. So I'm sure in the COP gathering, he brought it up because that's what he wants. And most likely they're going to tell him that, no, that's your individual statement. But as a group, we all don't believe in that. You see where I'm going with this? So they left it out. So he also, understanding that he's with a group, he might have been angry. Just said, no, I can't do that. Because I've been singing this song on my show all the time. So how come now you want to leave it out? And the group most likely telling him, yeah, Mr. Chairman, but your position as an individual member of COP is not the position of the COP. And Costa, being a smart and intelligent young man, recognized that, most likely. I was in there. I'm speculating, folks, and I'm allowed to. Most likely recognize it. Okay, let's forget it. So they left it out. But this is what happened. If you remember, when they sent that letter to the Justice Ministry, life is, eyes can be deceiving. Have you gone through, there's a book they call Making Sense, where they have a drawing. If you look at the drawing, you will see the old lady, her mouth with the chin all hanging. But if you look at it, it's a pretty young girl with a scarf tied around her neck. But you can see that this scarf around her neck looked like the old lady dripping down with her chin all the way. She looks so old. But when you look at it, it's a beautiful young girl with a flower hat and whatever pink, whatever color they have on that hat. But when the eyes can deceive, when you look at it, as soon as you open the book, you think that what kind of old lady is this here? But when you look at it and you start recognizing, you will find out that this is a beautiful, beautiful young girl. So eyes can deceive. So when the letter got to the justice minister, because he have seen in her Costa, Judge, we will step down. Judge, we are going to go. He's not staying. The people power will break it down. Our Costa says so. Justice minister and the entire government quite aware of it. So when the letter came, instead, you see, these are things that I keep saying to people. You can't assume, especially when you come engage in me. Don't assume, don't assume, because I will dust you up. In fact, there's a record. Don't disrespect me because I've been wearing pa. So the minister and everybody knowing that Costa, this is what Costa said. Costa is a chairperson. So the letter came. The first thing the justice minister did, letter from COP. Okay, we are step down campaign. Folks, I'm telling you. So the justice minister, having had that kinds of vision, Joshua step down campaign, letter from COP, Joshua camp down, COP, Joshua camp, that's it. He brought the constitutional book according to article, blah, blah, blah. You don't have the right, you don't have the constitutional right to do blah, blah, blah. Things that were not in that letter, he started putting it in there because in the back of his mind, that's what he'd been saying. He didn't go through to say, well, wait a minute. These people say this, but this is not what the letter is saying. You remember his reply? You guys have no constitutional mandate to ask the president to step down. I'm paraphrasing now. And therefore, you can't have anybody to step down. And therefore, we're going to deny your permission. We're not going to provide security for you, blah, blah, blah. Costa took that and ate their lunch at that time. You remember his reply? How you put something in there that the jury say so? So when they went recently to have their negotiations, he recognized and he said, according to the story, that's why I say, hey, okay, if you guys the intent is to assemble, the government will provide security. Because they mind telling them things that were not in there. And they took it in as being such. Okay? But that's behind us. These same people, all of you guys are young. You ain't got 80-year-old among you. All of you guys are young. You have to find reason. You want to listen to us or people like Sansinto and the other platform. Oh, you can't do this. This is the fear that we've been saying. The government always scared. The government, they're weak. The government, yeah. Government can be weak. Does it look like people like Dr. Weah will be weak? I doubt it. But you have to be careful. Because if not, those of us that have the faith, if this government becomes a Facebook government, those of us that have the Facebook pages, we will push you to make mistakes. We will push you to go against your own brothers and sisters because that's what we do. We got big mouth on Facebook. Nothing else. That's all we do. How the other person, my love for Josh Weah, because I love Josh Weah so much. They think the people doing, they have done it before. They're calling people all kinds of names. But then when Blaku come on, he comes on here and try to provide calm voice. That's what I do. That's what I intend to do, and that's what I will continue to do. Let's find reason. Let's find reason. what is happening with the economy, it's not like we can't fix it. Here in the state of California, in Caltrans, I have 1, 2, 3. Another young man just joined from Liberia, just joined recently. CPA, high-class accountants, working for Caltrans, managing Caltrans accounts. Before he even joined Caltrans, the young man I'm talking about, he's been in America now going to what, maybe 6, 7 years? But before he joined Caltrans, he has to be a CPA. So he took the test. First time, passed. Liberian people are smart. They want to know, no question asked. He joined the other. There are many Liberians that work for Caltrans now, but I don't know all of them, especially in the LA area. But the 3 that I know here working for Caltrans as an accountant, and they're very good at that. Okay? These people, basically what I'm saying is, the economic situation in Liberia. You want to tell me we don't have people here in the diaspora, Liberians, that have the ability to turn those things around? Our problem right now, I strongly believe, it's not so much of us as Liberian that we are incapable of performing. No, I think our problem right now in Liberia is trust. The trust level is the one that is hurting us. Okay? So let us don't think say Liberians are incapable of fixing things. The money issue, if we trust each other, if we trust the government. But the government have to show for the people to trust you. You have to do things for the people to trust you. But we cannot have, and listen to Custer. I'm going to play it now. He started naming things that this government, since the government came to power, things they have done. And a few other things he named, those are negotiation tactics. I don't even put a stock into those things. Like the roof FM must be open, all the kind of stuff. Those are the negotiations. If you want roof FM to be open, you can't put the government. I don't even think the government will take it serious anyway. You want roof FM to open? Use the court. Go sue the government. They already started that process anyway. But let's listen to Custer as they come out of the meeting with the churches, Council of Churches. And then I'll play the Council of Churches respond as well. Let's listen to Custer, folks. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio.
Well, the Interreligious Council was apparently approached by the government to see how they can make last-minute efforts to discourage the COP from going ahead with the protest. They call us, which is why we came. The government expressed to them that they would like to make some concessions, but nothing concrete so far. The COP maintains that it is willing to engage, and it is inclined to calling off the protest if certain conditions are met.
And what are the conditions?
Things that benefit you. We're talking about the publication of the $25 million report. We want a further investigation into the infusion into the economy of the $16 billion. We know that Mr. Weeks and Mr. Sirleaf have been prosecuted for the $1.9 billion unauthorized printing, right? But not for the $16 billion how it was infused. We want an investigation of that. We want the publication of the $25 million report, which we know has been completed, but the government has refused to publish it because we know it's damaging. And we want prosecution done. We also want the president to publish his assets. The inexplicable overnight acquisition of wealth, massive luxury condominiums going up, we want to know. We are curious. And also we want action taken on with regards to Punch FM. Their license was suspended under a so-called draconian review process. We want that process ended immediately with the license issued. We want Roots FM immediately returned to the airwaves and a whole bunch of things. So we are reasonable people. But thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yep.
We are reasonable people, he stated. You watch Custer. Does it look like somebody who's anxious to get in the street of Monrovia? No, I don't believe that. But the issue is the government have to give in sometime to give something to these people. Give something to these people. These people come out and make statements. They are not anxious to get in the street. They are not anxious to get in the street of Monrovia. We recognize that. Let me play that again. Let me play, folks. I'm being very serious here now. Let me play that again because this is the statement that is made here by Henry Custer does not indicate to me that he's very anxious to go in the street. If anything, apprehension I would use. Let's watch that. Let's listen again one more time.
Well, the Interreligious Council was apparently approached by the government to see how they can make last-minute efforts to discourage the COP from going ahead with the protest. They call us, which is why we came. The government expressed to them that they would like to make some concessions, but nothing concrete so far. The COP maintains that it is willing to engage and it is inclined to calling off the protest if certain conditions are met.
And what are the conditions?
Things that benefit you. We're talking about the publication of the $25 million report. We want in a further investigation into the infusion into the economy of the $16 billion. We know that Mr. Weeks and Mr. Sirleaf have been prosecuted for the $1.9 billion unauthorized printing, right? But not for the $16 billion how it was infused. We want an investigation into that. We want the publication of the $25 million report, which we know has been completed, but the government has refused to publish it because we know it's damaging. And we want prosecution done. We also want the president to publish his assets. The inexplicable overnight acquisition of wealth, massive luxury condominiums going up, we want to know. We are curious. And also we want action taken on with regards to Punch FM. Their license was suspended under a so-called draconian review process. We want that process ended immediately with the license issued. We want Roots FM immediately returned to the airwaves and a whole bunch of things. So we are reasonable people. But thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yep.
Well, reasonable people, he stated. As far as the two articles that he talked about, in two items, Roof FM and the Punch FM, I think those are negotiation tactics, to be honest with you, because those are things that came about based on court order. And if you want those things to be, whatever it is the government have on you, if you want those to be reversed, you have to go through the same process, go to court. So I'm not putting much stock into that. But when he talks about the report being released, when he talks about the government, out of a certain, Dr. We are Kindle Power, in less than certain time, buildings start going out that people know he owns and tells them where the money coming from. And when he talks about Dr. Weah to declare his asset, of course, Dr. Weah have declared his asset, but he has not been made public. Okay? So those are things that I think sensible people which will try to engage the government to say, I think what these people are saying, there are certain merit to these things. There are certain topics that you have to take into consideration. Okay? And you can't just get up and say, no, I don't want to talk to people. Let's listen before I open the line, because I will soon be opening the line. Let's listen to the churches of Council of Churches here. Let them tell us what happened. What are they doing now? And until today, when I listened to them, I was a little bit encouraged. But from the article on Front Page Africa, and you can tell the demeanor of this person that are going to be speaking. I don't think they have too much confidence in the process. I love these people, but this is some of the things that I always say. Okay, here in my own community, I can pick up phone right now and call any member, any of these young people in my community. I'll call them; they will answer my call because they know I'm not one of those old people that every 5 minutes throwing bomb here and there. If I throw bomb at you, that means you've been pushing Bloku too long. And then Bloku got to respond sometimes. That's about it. But you cannot be, because churches, you know how long this thing been going on? Why have it not been involved from the very beginning? However, I appreciate your effort. Let's listen to the council of churches here and see what they're telling us. Then after that, I will open the line. Folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, hey, it's Friday. Where you got to go? You got to know where to go? No, I'm just kidding, my brothers. I'm just kidding. Who else I can come and make a fool out of myself before you guys? Because you're my brothers and sisters. So I can afford to do that. So I appreciate that. But let's listen to the council of churches here and let them tell us what's going on. Let's listen.
For gentlemen of the press and members of the Interreligious Council, we want to bless God for today and just to update Liberian populace that we continue our engagement on the unfolding situation in our country, the call for protests and counter protests in Monrovia. So we continue on those engagements today. We've been talking to the Council of Patriarchs, the Independent Council of Patriarchs, and we're trying to find a way to sustain the peace. Sustain the peace. We believe that the best Liberians can do right now for Liberia is to sustain the peace. We're faced with a lot of challenges as a country, but we can find common grounds to be able to, keep this place livable and workable. So we've been talking to all the parties, engaged with the government, with our international partners. So we got a proposal from the Council of Patriarchs. We have passed that on to the government of Liberia, and we await the response, of government, so that we see what we do from here on addressing the issue of the protest. For gentlemen of the press and members of the Interreligious Council, we want to bless God for today and just to update.
There you have it, folks. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. It's Friday afternoon. I'm going to put a number up, and I will be playing music while I'm waiting for your phone call. You can call me and express it. I think when I was sitting in here for Mr. So last night, the conversation here last night, especially the phone call, was very, very interesting. And I enjoy every one of the phone calls because people were respectful, and they allow me, if they're saying using languages to describe other people that are not conducive, they allow me to say, let's take it easy, and they accept it. And I will continue on that line, because I don't want you to call here and insult people, because I will ask you not to do that, because we have to respect the process. We have to respect the process. But before I go on to the number situation, you heard, I'm not even going to mention that. Instead of arguing, okay, that's the first. Let's just take this. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, what's your name and where you're calling from? What's on your mind? Hello? Okay. All right, hold on. Okay, let's just go ahead. Play something you say. Please hold on. I will make it. I'm trying to see if I'm still connected. So just hold on. Once I put a number on, you'll see it. Please. Okay, you can call me now if you like. My number is up there now. I'm ready for you. Give me a call. Somebody wrote something here very funny. The puppet thing is smart. All day that we are, never will you get job on the leadership of President we are. Just be on your pull it level. Oh my goodness. Leo M. Bass, your funny comment. I didn't even see that. Oh my goodness, that make my day, my man. Leo, let me look for it. Leo, oh yeah, the puppet. I didn't even see that, Leo. Thanks for reminding me. The puppet thing is smile all day. Dr. We are. Let me take this call here. Samson told LeBron Pablo, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Tor.
Thank you.
Daniel's calling from New York City.
Thank you for calling. We appreciate it. What's on your mind, sir?
I'm just listening to the video played from Costa, Henry Costa. You know, I noticed in the video that there are some important things, very important things.
The what? In the video? In the video, what?
And I noticed from his interview, he's pointing out very important things.
Okay.
And one of those important things he's pointing out is the 25 million, or the so-called 17 to 17 million that was infused into the economy to work out of excess liquidity. I think it's important. Liberians want to know. Liberians want, if we trust the government, we want to know how that money was infused, who that money was given to, change process, how was it done? The government needs to tell us. So for that is very important. But on the other hand, we have to be very, very careful. You want to use the Liberian people for your own personal goal. The issue of Punch FM, Roof FM, those are not cardinal issues. Those are not cardinal issues. Punch FM as an institution, if they feel that their right was infringed on, they have to take the court, go through the court process. It does not require going on the street to protest. So those are not genuine issues that are in the interest of Liberia. So we ought to be serious, or else everyone that feels offended individually, we are following in the court process, we get on the screen to protest. And then they will be protesting for the wrong purpose. So Liberians have to be very careful. Also, I need to the country of patriots need to re-examine their accounts and take all stuff that are not important to the Liberian people.
Okay, you're right.
With Liberia in totality.
Okay.
So we understand the issue of the 60 or 70 million. I'm 100% standing with it that the government needs to give an account. Because if you infuse 25 million or 50 million and you cannot account properly for that, no one can trust you with their money. You know, sometimes ago, the finance ministry through Minister Toy was asking Liberians in the diaspora to trust the economy and invest into the economy, to save their money into the economy. How will we trust you with our money when you can't manage the one you have? When you can't account for the one you spend? It's not logical. We can't do that.
Thank you.
You should be able to manage the little you have. You know, other people will see how well you can manage the little you have. Then they will be able to contribute to what you have to make it bigger.
That's right.
So we cannot do that when you don't even have trust or confidence in managing your own resources. So for that is a very cardinal issue. It's at our heart. We all want that to be done. For all those petty issues that has to do with somebody making somebody vex, and somebody don't want to pass through the court process and want to take the street for that, we're not going to be looking at those issues. So they have to research or whatever the counts are and be able to put together specific issues that have to do with the Liberian economy, not their play talk stuff. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your comment. We appreciate it. Again, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I'm sorry, those of you that are calling. If you're calling and I'm not able to pick up your phone because somebody else is on the line. Folks, let me read that again. Oh, I can't. Okay, let me call this. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, what's your name, where you're calling from, what's on your mind?
Good afternoon, Mr. Samson Toll.
Thank
My
you.
name is Amos George.
Yeah, Mr.
Calling
George.
from Atlanta, Georgia.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New
To
Year.
you and your family.
Yeah, but Mr. George, since I know you, let me read this thing to you and see what you make of it. They say here, there's a caller here. He said, Leo Bass. He said, this puppet thing, he's smart. All day, Dr. Weir. Never will you get job on the leadership of President Weir. Just be on your Chichipole level. I love that. Go ahead. I love Tio, but please, whatever you do, whenever I come on air, please come and join me, please. Harry Trucks like it. Yeah, go ahead. Nathaniel Bond like it. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, Mr. Toll, I ain't got no comment.
Can I this person? Okay, can all right, go ahead.
Mr. Toll, so here's my take on this issue here. Let me start with the government first. I think President Weir has put himself in a position, a very difficult position. Just last week, if you listen to the statements he made, I will not talk to criminals. These people are rebel, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And as a leader, you don't close the door for negotiation. You are the president of the country. What you disagree with the people, you should always leave room for negotiation. Look, people say, look, I'm willing to listen to any Liberian from all over, regardless of our disagreement. The offer is open once we respect one another. When you make the kind of statement, then you need room for negotiation. But when you make those statements and you close the door completely, now look at the situation that they have put a safety. If Helicopter is right, he's saying that the government are asking the council of churches to negotiate. Once you start, you give the opposition an upper hand. If you listen to Helicopter today, the last time when they were talking about negotiating, President Weir, after devolution was not even mentioned. But look at today. They added that to the list. This is why, as a leader, be very slow to speak. Listen keenly before you make the kind of statement. Now, here is a situation we find ourselves in. Look at what the international partner did. From that memo they sent today, it tells me that they have told President Weir the people have the right to demonstrate, whether you like it or not. Because they had set the date aside, they say, January 6th, the memo that they issued, January 6th, that they advise on all the citizens to be careful where they go because the Liberian people will be demonstrating. That's the U.S. Embassy released today. So that to tell you that they are done with President Weir. Whether you like it or not, the people have the fundamental right to demonstrate. They have issued a memo. Now, where the government find ourselves today? The demand that customers are making are reasonable demand. These things are facts. They are facts. Money got missing. 2 reports came up. Pointing to that, a government official. You say, okay, I will turn it over again to another agency. The people have done with the report, they say a month ago, the book cannot be public. Don't you think the Nigerian people deserve the right to know what happened to their money? 25 million, 16 billion. Don't you think they know? They have the right to know when other people have already been prosecuted. They are in court today for excess money being related to the same issue. So why the government is following that report? Why they don't want to make it public? These are things that agitate the common people in the streets. Let the government be transparent. If you do so, people say, okay, yes, they are trying. But when you want to shut everything up, and like I said, there's nobody, there's nothing happening in the country. No, that is wrong. And the COP, I applaud them for the tune now they're taking. You see, because of them were very smart. When the international community issued that thing and they must refine what they were saying, because of them, they came right back out there and said, oh no, we're not talking about, oh, President comes down. I'm sorry for some of the languages I used. I was mad at the time, blah, blah, blah. He cooled our temperature down. So the government cannot continue to use that to say, oh, because I didn't say the government Montana, so no. They had already passed that stage because he came up and apologized. Say, no, this is not what I meant, but I was physically attacked and I was destroyed. So there was other anger and made so many reckless statements. So I'm sorry. We passed that stage. So what is the mature person in the room that's supposed to say, okay, you know what happened? Let them give these people something they need. Or what they are saying, maybe we cannot meet, but then meet halfway. We can say, okay, from now 2-3 months, we will do this. Give us another 6 months, we'll try to implement these things. That's how you negotiate. But everybody now drawing the line in the sand, that we're not negotiating. The people cannot demonstrate. We're not providing security for them. Where are you leading us now? As the head of the government, you're the father of the land. Where are you leading us now?
Right. Okay.
Can you dismiss that the Latino people are no clean? No. They are legitimately clean. We all have. So the president should take a seat and say, you know what happened? Call the people. You go, why continue to go to the council and check it? They can be media there. Why you can't say, you know what happened? The vice president, the justice minister, you go and say that. This is why we can do right now. Why not do it?
Okay.
Now they send a proposal to you. I mean, whatever point they are sending to you. So what will happen? We got 2 days from now. Monday will be the end. Constantly say if the government is willing to negotiate, we'll cut off the protest. But they must agree to do certain things. So what the government is going to get now? When you are going and say all these things, threatening the people, you're not from the rebel. You can't talk with these people. You can't do this. Now this is why it makes leaders weak. Because when you make these statements, people are looking up to you now. That the person has drawn the line in the sand. And for you to come back and negotiate, you are weak.
Thank you.
You have made yourself vulnerable. So, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Samson told LeBron Public Radio, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Yeah, Brother Toe, good morning from my location.
Okay, good morning. Where's your location?
Western Australia.
Oh, what? Wow, way from Australia. Well, thank you very much for calling us, and good morning to you too. What's on your mind? I know way over there, and you're watching us. And it's very important. Go ahead, make a statement, sir.
Yeah, first of all, when I finish, I want you to read my comments I wrote on your page. It's a long comment there. I wrote. If you want me to repeat, I can repeat it.
No, I'll
you see
I'll
the
read
reason.
it. What's the name? What's the name that was used?
Nathan Bernard.
Nathan Bernard. Okay, let me look for it. But in the meantime, go ahead. While I'm looking for it, go ahead. Okay, I see it here. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, the reason why the government is so intransigent and don't want to listen to the Costa, the Yaka Koluba, it's very simple, brother. You see, the member of parliament from all the opposition parties, if they are joined these guys, let me give you an example. South Africa, right? When the opposition there are demonstrating, all their members of parliament boycott the ANC and they walk out and they go demonstrate. They speak with one voice, but it's not like that in our country. In our country, the people that are representing Unity Party, the ANC, the Lower Party, they are representing only Darren Dillon alone assist when you can call which party is staying with. If these people are walk out of that place and don't they protest, I can lie to you, brother. 1 minute you will see George will sack this with Samuel 12 and this other guy here, Magay. But they remain silent. They thinking that they protecting their job. But they fail to realize that the citizens are voted for them. And see how our citizens suffering. I can see live video, Jabate go to Todi, Salala, Kakata, people in land who were not like that before, so we are supposed to think. Labron could never used to go back, somebody like that, to get in land, people carry food for, how to call it, then they distributing them. So we are think well on that, okay?
Okay.
To carry, to ask government to for protest, it's not to step down. I can justify that. For the past 12 years, they thought I don't know, you were sleeping or you were not on ice. The lieutenant, the coachy, the Molba Molu, they used to carry casket around, empty casket. About 11, they used to masquerade them. Who were those caskets were for? What were the indications? Or they were doing it to bring war? But in Labron Pool, we quite to forget. But for me, I read history, I read books, so I can't forget easily. I saw those things then, the masquerading with casket all over the place. Sometimes they start from Oro Johnson, they block all the road. The Liberia women then, the Liberia men, they don't consider that doing Ellington to bring war, or because Kosa say you guys are suffering, and we here, we seen that when we send money to our people, sometimes you send $100, $200, to get the money, it's not easy.
Okay.
Our country is very hard. How can a leader get in power, declare your answer, he refused? He never had a dime because he sold the party to Winston Tubman. And you understand? Then right away, 12 years, you were a few
my brother,
the administration.
My brother, you're making some statement that LPR cannot verify. So I will ask you to please moderate your tone and your accusation, because this is a platform that will come out here. I'm not saying everything will come out of our mouths will be truthful, but when you make such a statement in a public gathering like this, then it's
correct me. Correct me. Let me retract it. Which one are you talking about?
The idea of selling party to Winston Tubman. I'm not saying that's not true, but I don't have anything on my platform to show that this is what it is, and it's a huge stuff. So I'm not saying you should retract it. I'm just making a comment on it. Go ahead, finish your statement.
All right. Okay. Information. From the preliminary stage, I dummy or raise, right? Raise to become a president. 2005, I go and vote. And then from there, 2011, then I turn to presidential, a VP to another person. What the interpretation? They say, I gathered that at the time, maybe he had smaller money. Later, 2011, he never had a dime. So you had to put that old man, he beat the old man out of some money.
All right.
This is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But back to my point.
Go ahead. I'm just saying we here on LPR do not have any kinds of proof of such a statement. You have the right to say what you're saying, but when people call in and make some statement that we cannot verify or something, it beholds off to make sure that we put that statement out there as well. Go ahead and finish your statement so I can take the other call, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my appeal here, I'm appealing to those lawmakers in Parliament. They are opposition. They should not feel comfortable in their location, thinking that thing is where. They see how the country going under the Bekuwe administration. The country is very hard. We've seen it. We live in the diaspora, in Europe, in America, other the living conditions. LIBERIA should graduate from those days. Well, look at what happened the other day, yesterday, to that Shaki steel factory. See, those boys exhibited a whole lot of marks on their body. You understand?
Okay.
Look, only a mark, and they are paying them $105. How can they pay our people $105 Indian men making 800, 900, they bring a whole lot of Indians in our own country. Look, the labor law, that's 1508, I'm one of those I was affected when I was working about security system.
Okay.
And more 40 hours men up to now, they are saying that labor law needs to be repealed because it's not in the interest of Liberian people.
Thank you.
And
Thank
you
you, my
understand
brother.
where the employee can fire you, can fire you without getting your serum pay.
Okay.
Yeah, you understand?
Thank
All
you.
these things, they are draconian law that suppress our people in that country.
I understand.
Do you
Thank
understand?
Thank you.
Our
Thank
people should not. What? Yeah.
Thank you.
Our people should not continue to
suffer. Yeah. Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, my brother. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Calling all the way from Australia. We appreciate
Bye.
you. Thank you very much. Samson told LeBron Public Radio, Mr. Cedi, James Cedi, your name appear on my phone here. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, I got maybe one big question for you to help me to answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, first of all, Happy New Year.
You know that Bloku now. Anything that throw my way, you know Bloku can handle it. Go ahead.
Okay, I kind of, I'm not in support of whatever the government is, but the very people that do have problem with, they have agreed, like Justin do, those very people try to the one against them and kill those people. Even have agreed, and just they kill, have agreed. So,
whoa. This is a Bloku show. James said you can't come out here and make such a dramatic statement that we have no proof of. There's nothing in the record to say that Ellen Johnson killed some. Please, let us try to be careful here. Yeah.
Okay. Let me rephrase my question.
Okay.
The very people that some people don't have problem with, those same people try to have problem with the same people. And the yesterday have problem with the very same people. So is it that all the government that will be coming to be having problem with this very same opposition, or what? What really happened?
I don't know. I can't say here and tell you that the government gonna have problem with same people the previous government have problem with. But if that's the case, then why don't we try to switch it the other way? If the previous government is having problem with people that have tried to point out things and what have you, and if this government is also having the same kinds of problem, then something's wrong somewhere in our society. Why would people will continue to cry about certain things? That means the thing that the people are crying about, you need to examine that. Don't you think so?
I think, but let me admit that, like Jackson Abdul, Sam Doki, Moses Dupo,
they're all dead.
Yes. And you put a happen with those before.
Yeah, so what is your point?
My point is, why is it that people sometimes say, well, something can do, and you happen with people because you're not educated. But then we got charged to them. You happen with the very people. Now we got evidence that we can have. You happen with the same people. So why is that happening in our country?
Well, Mr. Cedi, you can't. First thing you have to even let's forget about the Liberian. Let's go back into our own community because you and I are from the same community. Let's go back into our own community. What happened with our community organization right now? There are certain people within the community. There are certain people within the community that continue to point out the ills of that is in the community, and certain people refuse to listen. So if the secession of government does not erase the fact that you have new government, does not negate the issues that used to happen on a previous government. Why, if that issue persists, then the people want to say something. Now you're talking about Jackson Abdul and the rest of the people. Now you're going too far into the subject matter here tonight, but you have the right to go anywhere you want to go. But that I just can't answer that for you.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Maybe next time.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. In the meantime, let me go ahead and give you one more of this. Sinto, LeBron Public Radio, the CEO himself has just called in. Mr. So, thank you for joining us. What's on your mind?
Yeah, Mr. To, good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, firstly, let me just say thank you for calling people out and on a genuine because in as much we've provided sort of platform to have real-time issues, that should not set pathway for people to come and just make statements, political statements, or personal statements, the thing that can't express anything, just walk away. And that's a good thing. We hold people, not just from the government or opposition, but individuals, we also hold them responsible for their statements and comments. But I love that comment from Mr. Leo Bass, that was a good one. Okay.
I love that too
Yeah,
myself.
It is. And I think the liberals and the progressive this event, conservative, we're going to go head to head again. Let me ask you, why did you even brought into a book of this gentleman who were making that comment? What do you think was the reason? Why you did not allow him to make that comment? What were you trying?
What gentleman?
The gentleman who was asking, what was the question? The guy that called from Australia who was talking about people selling party and all of that. What was the motive? Why did you call his attention?
Well, the fact that he said, Dr. Leo Bass, I call him Dr.
No, Leo.
No, hold on. I know. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
remind Leo Bass that on my show, I called the president of the Republic of Liberia, duly elected president of the Republic, 61.5% elected. I call him Dr. Weir, and I don't want fussing from him. But anyway, let me answer your question on a very serious note, Mr. So. The reason why
I'm not making reference to Leo.
No, I know.
I'm
trying to put some joke into it. But on a very serious note, Mr. So, the reason why the guy from Australia, when he talked about George, we are selling, the president sold the party to Thomas Tutman. I have no proof here to show that this, in fact, is a statement that I can collaborate. And since I cannot collaborate that, and if you're going to make that statement on my show, I have the right to say you also as an individual have the right to be responsible for the statement you make. But in the meantime, I, as a host, must tell my audience that I have no way of verifying this statement that this young man has just made. And that was the reason.
And so, in a nutshell, what were you protecting? I'm trying to drive out a point here, but let me just get to it so other people can go.
I protect
the bottom
nothing.
line here, okay, yeah, you protect something because I heard you clearly, crystal clear, you did mention of LPR because first and foremost, if it is voting, if you have not called him to an attention, the first issue, the first news are going to go out there on Liberia Public Radio, and then secondary, who was the angle? Something told. Now, hold on, I'm coming. Again, you mentioned when you went to Liberia, I don't want to go into detail how you got there. You know, I know it. And there was people alleged, people reported Mr. Toll brought XYZ, and you came in. But what happens at the end of the day? You went and, as it should be, you were exonerated. I'm coming to the point of this issue with the front page here. Look. We know the George Weir-led government, the CDC-led government, administrative policies, very terrible. No question if about that. But at the same time, we as a citizen, we must also remember the institution, the government institution, it is within our purview to do everything possible to have it preserved. And so we cannot be judgmental when even the security apparatus or securities are taking action here. You and I know here, if the security apparatus are giving tip-off of anything, it won't be, it doesn't have to be 100% true. They will come to your door and boom, boom, based on the information that they will provide. They will come to your door until otherwise you are fully exonerated. Now, we do not know. If there were people that call in, and you rightfully said it, and I agree that people are supposed to march, But our indispositions of the hope that were attached to this protest to say President must step down, that itself has a bad connotation and going to have a bad result. So people gave these security people apparatus. We don't know the details. But you find out that they went there, they had a court order, and they went there with different security apparatus, the immigration, the DAE, the drugs enforcement, and all of that. They have gone there to do what they're supposed to do. I don't think it has anything to do with whether it was COP or not. And even if it was COP, it also bear in mind it is a community. If there was anything other to have developed in that community during their intervention, it is not just only those that are within the facility. Other people will be equally affected. So I'm just saying here to say that in as much this government is bad, we must also allow these institutions to be functioning, to allow them to properly function. Until otherwise, and if they are any issue, they must get it to the court. But to say because the protest or because Mo Ali were there or these other people went there and we want to preempt to say, well, this is why the people went there, I don't think that we are being a little bit judgmental here. And the second point here.
Can I deal with your first point before you go to the second one?
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. So, I mean, of course, this is Liberian Public Radio as usual. You and I don't agree on a lot of things here anyway, but yes, still you are the CEO of LPR. But let me two things I want to point out to you on a very serious note. When I read this story, it brought back some bad memory as far as I'm concerned. One thing. Second thing is this. In the article itself, it stated that the reason was people who were there were members of the George Weah Step Down campaign, and that they have gone there, according to the story, to receive payment. And that's why the government was going in there to find out. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing is this. What really drew my attention and what really turned me around against this particular charade, I will call it, is the rate of seizure. Okay, they went to the court and said, "Oh, we have evidence, and there's certain things that are going on according to the Attorney General, and so the court should give us a racial seizure." They went there to search and seize, which is what was written. But guess what? What else they did? They arrested people. And there was nothing in the rate that said you have to arrest people. If you want to arrest in the process, you have to include that into the rate. Liberia is not a republic banana republic. And you can't just put a blind. So if you're going to come out and try to seize something based on the court order, follow the court order. And when I saw that, I recognized that these people were not genuine. Go ahead.
Mr. Toll, let me just bring you right back here. Let's face it as it is. And I say CDC government or whatever else, there are a lot of bad policy. But can you tell me if there was a tip off and say, okay, Francisco, there's some sort of stuff going on, or the Liberian Public Radio, like you are on the air that they are doing X, Y, based on the information provided to the security. Whether there was sort of rate of search and seizure, if they come there and they suspect there was a potential evidence, circumstantial one, for which the security can act on, obviously there will be actions. They don't have to go back to the court to say, oh, we came for a rate of arrest, we gave her a rate of search, but somebody there is having ambush, so we come back to arrest that person. Is that what you're telling me? No. Absolutely not. It is listen, you're the security, whoever went on site, if they come to your house for a search and they say you're doing something illegal, but if they go there and the security from interrogation and they come to realize there's a potential criminality or some sort of criminal something in nature besides the search, or even from just talking to you, they can also call you in for questioning. Carrying you does not mean they're going to jail you. You will also have the opportunity to explain. So I don't think we shouldn't see it as bad as it is. But also remember, the city has been very tensional. that's not, even though Costa said it, it's good that he has backtracked it. But if you listen on Facebook, some of the packers and people, things that come up, people are saying a lot of things that also has the propensity. People will want to go act on that. That does not necessarily mean that they are acting on Costa's behalf. No. But there are crazy people out there who are doing everything who wants to cause chaos. We must also understand that. And I think that is a valid point. Security, when it comes to
let me read something to you here very quickly. They said the rate continuing. They said the purpose of this request to the court now, according to the magistrate, the purpose of this request is for the discovery and seizure of drugs, arms, ammunition, payment of check to individual to support the We Are Step Down campaign. You understand that? Okay. So if you're going to have this in the court, in the rate, if you're going to go contrary to what is in the rate, if you're going to do the search and seizure and somebody trying to block the process, that person is also part of that issue and that person will be arrested. I agree with that. But if you're going to take people in, especially managers of this area, and seize and keep them for a certain length of time, that must be stated in the rate, and it's not.
Something I don't understand. I'm looking at it. I have read it over and over since then. But what I'm saying, if security personnel were to appear before your house today, and they say we are coming for this, as long as they enter your premises, there are some other information beyond what they even said that is written on the phone. They're gonna go and search.
No. You cannot. You can't. That means you're not being truthful to the court. If you go to the court, that's supposed to give you.
So do you think they didn't talk to people, or do you think they didn't before even arresting? Don't you think they talked to people? Is that what you want to say?
No. I understand that, but what I'm saying is this: if you're going to ask a judge, listen now. If you're going to ask a judge to give you permission based on the legal premise that you're going to present to the judge.
So yeah, it's a deal. The entire thing here is based on a circumstantial evidence or circumstantial information that the security people will receive.
I'm not questioning that. I am not questioning that.
But that's what I'm saying.
No, we're talking two different things, Mr. So, and again, here you come again with your conservative ideas that I'm not going to let you do on the liberal show. Now, let me explain this to you. The first thing is this. If you're going to go to the court, because according to our Constitution, the court can give you right to arrest, right to search, rights to seize people things. Because unless you use eminent domain on property, you can just get and go seize people things because you're a law enforcer.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if you come into the court and say, Your Honor, I suspect, or according to the information we're gathering, people are doing X, Y, and Z, and they are not saved for our people. Once those things are listed in a court rate, those are the process that you're going to follow. Because if you go outside of that, you are now a liar to the court, and you cannot lie to the court. Now, let me qualify that, please. If you're going to search and seize a property or anything, and in the process, somebody trying to stop you from enforcing the court order, that person is now interfering with the court order. That person going to have to be arrested. He doesn't have to be listed in the court order. But if it is so, that would have been stated according to eyewitnesses and even the managers themselves. Nothing of such. These people decided they got and this is what I'm concerned with. If you're going to go and deviate from the court order, then your premise overall then is faulty. And once you come up with a faulty information, I suspect that you no longer have the credibility to enforce the law that the court have asked you to do.
Something.
Go ahead.
Something.
Yes.
Good look. Let us not bend the rules. look, we have to be very careful. It's a sovereign nation. We have to do everything possible. It doesn't matter which government that is there right now. There are so many things here. I'm looking at the release here, the drugs, arms and ammunition, payment of checks. We do not know. So I am just only telling you, you do not know all of the information. We do not have all of the details here. These are just reports we are coming on.
And I'm basing my statement based on the report. I'm not adding or subtracting.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do not want you, but you are drawing the conclusion. All of these are all circumstantial. So if you are at my house, if people arrive visiting me, and people and police come in, or security apparatus comes in for whatever sort, you think they're going to meet there, they're going to ask you who the visitor is here from the place, you will be searched. So there is no statute of limitation on that. And I'm just only saying we do not know how many people they met there and who said anything, who said something to those security apparatus that even worry them to say, okay, we have to take one or two persons to go questions or to get from there. It doesn't mean when they are questioning you, when they are talking to you, it doesn't mean you have done something or you have violated the law, but there are information that the people receive. Look, remember, Liberia just came out of a war situation. And people are the country that people are just halfway.
Don't sugarcoat your conservative idea, trying to hide it under the wall and what have you. This is
one day you have to understand. I agree with us. One day that Costa is a good man. Where are you?
I am a liberal progressive whose ideas is based on liberal principle. Let me read something to you quickly. The management maintain that it has approximately 50 Liberians and others in the employ of the entity, and therefore it would do nothing to support acts that have the potential to cause chaos or confusion in the country. Hold on. Why it is? Listen. Why it regret the incident? The beach reserve management says it makes effort to ensure the release of two of its managers. Okay, and then it went on to say it remains unclear why the pair was arrested, since in fact the raid issue. Listen. Since in fact the raid issue was for the search and seizure operation to be carried out by the armed security officer instead of arrest.
You have exacerbated this thing here to pressure your listener. If it goes such, look at how they did the wrong. How they did it? Why you want to be?
Oh, Mr. Soul, you're acting like the government right now. You refuse to argue the substance. You're arguing process, because I pointed out to the Roman thing. Those are process. The substance of this thing is that the government deviated from the reason they went to do the search and search in the first place.
You have been so very unstable in your positions. I have taken a definitive position. You have refused to condemn or denounce the actions of Mr. Costa, and you still try to place in, okay, Henry Costa is an individual. Why you didn't tell this gentleman who said they were selling we are so CDC and this person killed this one? Why do you think you're protecting the institution? Because you are not done that. No, listen, you have not done that. Look, Henry Costa, they have a genuine argument. There is no question, and I agree with the other caller here. Look, when you are making a case, you have to make some timetables here. Let him go to the court. When it comes to his radio station, he has a genuine issue. When it comes to the 25 million, the 16 billion, when it comes to the properties of the president, these are all genuine things. But wait a minute. This opposition, all right, we have to also hold them responsible. But you have become more or less, whether you are a biker person or you whoever, or you now turn over to the COP or whatever. Dallas Dillon is an executive of your party, your Liberty Party. Now the party is inside. Yeka Koluba is also with ANC executive. Mo Ali
what is your point? What is your now? Here we go again. You're going to come
I'm
up.
telling you,
You're
Mo
trying to
Ali is
mask.
an
You're
executive of
trying.
the
You're
Unity
trying your
Party.
best this
All right?
afternoon, this Friday afternoon,
Jeremiah
trying
Walker
to
is
hide your
the
conservative.
executive of the
You're
New
trying to
Vision-
hide your
New Vision
conservative
Party.
ideas as though you're
Hold on one
speaking for the
second.
masses.
Will you please give me? Will you give me a chance, please?
No, when you
I'm
come on,
innocent.
when you come
I'm
on my
innocent.
show, when you come on my show,
Listen,
you
something-
have to be a little bit not progressive, but you
No,
have to be broader than that. You can't come here and try
No,
to
no, no, no,
suppress.
no.
You can't come here
you
and try to
cannot-
suppress
you
the
cannot-
ideas of the
You cannot
liberals.
rearrange me. You cannot arrange me to be a different person who I am not.
Well,
to be like you because it's on
I'm
your
not.
show.
I'm
No.
just pointing you out as being somebody
No, you
because
want
of
me
your
to be like-
conservative.
you want me to
Because of your conservative ideas, you decided you're going to do whatever it is to suppress the liberal ideas, and we're not going to allow that. We will not
not
allow
about
you to
liberalism.
suppress
So
suppress anybody.
So we
How
are-
are you
we
going to
are talking
argue?
about the-
Why
we are
are you
talking
not?
about the
Why
fundamental
are you
rights of
not
the people.
arguing? Why are you not arguing the substance of the story? Instead, you want to
And that's
argue
what-
the process, and
That's
there's
what-
nothing
I'm
I can do
coming
about
to-
that.
I'm coming to that. Will you give me a chance, please? It's not because unless you want to cut me off, then your audience will know that you are now sanctioning freedom of speech.
No,
On LPR, we don't usually do. So you
here,
don't-
and especially this liberal progressive, I allow people to express themselves. However, if you come out here with a hidden agenda, especially as a conservative, and try to suppress the view of that of a liberal, then I will challenge you. I'm not going to cut you off.
Are you willing to condemn in a stronger terms the positions of the COP? If I come on this network,
No. Don't say if.
a
What is the
Pentecostal-
position? What is the position of
Okay,
COP
yeah,
that you want me to
yeah,
condemn?
yeah,
What
yeah,
is the position
Yeah,
that you want me to
listen.
condemn? Yeah.
Here is the position.
Okay.
Henry Costa is the head of the COP.
Oh, are we going to go
right?
through? Are we going to go
You
through
wrote-
this? Are we going to go through that again? I already defeated you and
We're
Prince.
gonna go through
I
that.
already defeated you.
never-
I've already
you didn't.
defeated
You
you and
didn't.
Prince
You
Double. Your
didn't.
conservative ideas, it's not going to stand.
It's
You're
still
going to go through that
undone.
again.
It's still undone. So if you sit on the LPRO today and begin to say, oh, this is you create some sort of fake news here, right? You will say that something to or LPRO. Look, the positions of their statement, they have all right to match. But the idea to come and present a statement and then you come on the network to create a different scenario.
Mr. Soul,
And
will
they
you
say, oh, no, that's
will
like,
you
oh,
give me will you
not
give me the
good.
opportunity to once again defeat your conservative ideas? Will you allow me to explain to you?
Okay.
Perhaps you would from this point on.
If
You probably
don't
going to
take time, that's how Donald Trump going to be in this place again.
No.
Because you liberal
Donald
guys,
Trump is
you're
not.
always
Donald Trump
happy.
is going to be defeated. We're not going to touch it.
You
But let me
always
explain
compromise
to you.
the interest.
Let me
You always
explain.
compromise the
If you will
interest
give
of
me
the
the
people.
opportunity,
That
let
is
me
very
explain to you
dangerous.
the
Because
view that you want me to
live in a
condemn.
narrow state. You live in a state where mental policy is so you are being indoctrinated by those sort of ideas, and that's
Please,
why you are gradually
please.
strengthening
My
this
liberal
network
view,
on
my
LPR,
liberal view from total
and that's not what
it
we're
has
gonna
nothing.
accept.
But let me
Thank you very
defeat.
much.
Oh, thank you for your
You-
call. I
you-
appreciate
you
it.
don't
But I
wanna
was
give
still.
me a- you don't want to give me a
I'm
chance.
giving you an
liberal
opportunity.
guy.
I'm
And I'm just
giving.
going to tell you that sort of liberal idea that you think you're going to take the whole California and have it plenty on the Liberia Public Radio. That's not going to work.
Hey, well,
And
I'm getting-
this is why Mr. Bob, this is why Leo saw and you saw how you were to really back this healing here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Folks, before I take any other call, let me now defeat this conservative ideas that Mr. Soul tried to bring out here. First, he asking me to condemn COP statement. And when I asked him what was COP statement, what did he say? Statement coming from Henry Costa. Let's deal with that. Henry Costa, I'm going to say it again. All of you conservatives out there, please, after this, I hope you throw in the towel. Don't come back here on my show and bring this thing up. I want to deal with it once and for all and knock it out of the ballpark. Henry Costa, we agree. So chairman of COP, agree. Henry Costa, we agree. Made some regular statement. We agree. I agree. I give you that. Henry Costa, we agree. So member of COP, we agree. Henry Costa, we agree. Has his radio station, Root FM, we agree. We agree. Henry Costa goes on his Root FM and talk about COP issue. We agree. However, all of the things that I've given you as a liberal progressive, I allow you and accept what you're saying in terms of Henry Costa and the record statement. However, COP in their communication, their real communication to the Republic of Liberia, to the government of the Republic of Liberia, in their communication, there is nothing in there, and I explained that before, there is nothing in our communication that accept or that were willing to use Henry Costa's statement or George Weah come down. COP sent a letter to the government asking for protection. And in that letter, there's nothing in there about George Weah step down. Even though I explained that earlier, but maybe this conservative guy didn't see that. He did not see it. He never heard it. What I stated was this, and I was just trying to dramatize that. What I think most likely, COP is made out of people, human beings, just Liberians, just like me and you. And they respected Henry Costa and election, however way he came to the position. But these are all intelligent people, COP, they're Liberians. I'm not going to classify them as being crooks or being classified them as something else. They are my brothers and sisters. And anybody who is my brother and sister, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're respectful. That's how I describe anybody who is my brother and sister, and that includes all Liberians. Now, let's look at this. Henry Costa made this statement on his show. Do you know what the arrangement between COP and Henry Costa, for Henry Costa to even use a station to talk about COP issue? What, do you know the arrangement? No, we don't know that, number one. Second thing is this. Henry Costa, let us agree, he's a chairman. I already gave you that. But here is what I want you to understand. The fact that Henry Costa is a chairman, he's not the one that dominating the entire COP. I will not accept that. Because why? Henry Costa for months was on his platform. How George we are going to be dragged out of the office, and I'm just paraphrasing, out of the office and what have you. Ridiculous statement that I'm not comfortable with. And I've always, whenever that I come up here, I say, Dr. Weah is the president of the Republic of Liberia. Duly elected, 61.5% by the electorate of Liberia. So there's no way, and according to the Constitution, he's going to stay until his term is over. Unless Henry Costa or whoever wants George Weah to step down have to go through the proper procedures, which is go through your elected representative, let them file impeachment charges, whatever. And if he can be impeached and removed, so be it. But to say I will stay in the street until George Weah step down, if I were President Weah, I said, well, you want me to bring you blanket? You want me to bring you pillows? And since we have mosquito in Monrovia, I will bring you some mosquito nets as well, because you're going to be in the street for a very long time. I've always argued that. Okay? So, the COP, let's get back to the COP. And however, you have to be a little bit above the board for you to argue that COP must be condemned. COP, after Mr. Costa and the rest of the people went on their platform, condemn me and then say George Weah will be removed, what have you. People calling him on Costa's show, George Weah, when we meet him, he will be removed, all those kinds of stuff. But when COP ready to present their letter to the entire world for people to read and understand, there is nothing in there that says George Weah stepped down. None whatsoever. What does it indicate? It suggests to me that Henry Costa, even though he's a chairman, but he's not running COP by himself. I refuse to accept that. Because in order for him to run COP by himself, and in order for him to dominate, and in order for him to manipulate the COP, as you guys trying to suggest, then that statement that he's been making all along would have been reflected in that letter. Now, will you now also agree that perhaps people in the COP stood up to Henry Costa and said, no, even though you use your platform to put our issue out there, but this is your idea. And majority of the COP leader were not in favor of it. Maybe they even has the vote on what language to use in a COP letter, what wording to be used in a COP letter. And perhaps Henry Costa and those who believe George Weah stepped down were defeated. Why can't you even look at it from that perspective? Instead, you want to tie Henry Costa's statement, reckless statement, around the neck of the COP. And you say because of that, they will not demonstrate? You're wrong. If this is how and what the government position is, then the government, to be honest with you, has no standing. The government cannot go to court and argue that because they will be defeated. Sound. Because you can't say from an intellectual level, you have to produce evidence. Circumstantial, yes, you can say, but not in this case. The case is wide open. Wide open. And then now, let's look at it. Folks, you guys, yeah, you're killing me. But anyway, when you do that, then you make me to be able to explain to you at a level that perhaps all of us will understand. Lately, Henry Costa, Evie himself, said he's gonna be able to tune down his rhetoric. Yaka Koluba, stated again today that things gonna change this time around. Now, let me push you, those of you that continue to argue that I should condemn the statement of COP. What is the statement? Should I condemn COP for asking the government of the Republic of Liberia to produce the report of a $25 million? You want me to condemn them? I said not. Do you want me to condemn COP for asking the government to be able to pay people on time, Liberians on time? You want me to condemn that? I said no. Do you honestly believe that I should stay here and condemn COP? Because they're saying that the president, after taking office in less than 6 months, billing started going up. Where the money coming from, they say. They're curious. Are you now also curious? And you want me to condemn that? I said not. Do you want me to sit here this evening on this wonderful Friday afternoon as a liberal progressive to condemn the statement from COP when they have been going around? The economic situation in Liberia is terrible. And when they point that out, do you expect me as a liberal progressive to condemn that? I said no. So please spare me this condemnation stuff that you want me to do. I am not part of that condemning quiet. I am not going to go around as a progressive liberal to condemn because I think condemning people means something. I'm not going to do that. And follow more. I want nothing from this government. I don't even know anybody in the government. I don't even know anybody in the COP. They don't even know me. But on this platform, I consider this platform to be an intellectual platform where truth, according to me, your truth, that's yours. And you have the right to express your truth because you, as an individual, have the right. Did I say that? You, as an individual, has the right to make pronouncement. And if you accept that, then why is it going to be different from Henry Costa? Because he's chairman? What makes you think, should you, if you come in public, make statement, should we then go and hold your family responsible because you are the husband, you are the brother, you are the son of the family? Should I hold your family responsible because you make some statement that is reckless? Have you heard the word guilt by association? Come on, folks. Please don't do this to me. I think we have gone through, some of us have tried to read from time to time. I'm a political junkie. And so I respect people's right to express themselves. But I'm not going to sit here and condemn an organization, an institution that is fighting for the voiceless, that I believe. I don't agree with the tactics some of them use. I don't agree with them coming on and insulting, using insult words to the president. I'm not comfortable with that. And every time, ever since I've been on this platform, whenever I come up, Dr. Weah is the president of the Republic of Liberia. Here's the reason that I do that. Let me explain that to some of you, because Leo made a statement here earlier. Let me explain that to some of you. Why I come out here and say, Dr. Weah, they don't even know who I am. I want nothing from them. I'm an engineer. I do well here. I'm not anxious. I went home. If I wanted a job, I would have stayed there. But I told you guys that people were paying money. I, Samson Toe, spent 5 years getting my engineering degree. And you expect me to pay you because I know roadway design. I know roadway construction. I'm not taking back seat to anybody. Nobody. Bring any other roadway engineer. I'm not taking a back seat to anybody. Bring your design. I put my design down, and then let's see who get what. But because of that, because of my training, I'm not going to pay you fasten for me to help you move the country forward. Look at the great lack they have in Monrovia in terms of traffic. I can alleviate that. I can help them to alleviate that. But I'm not going to pay fasten to anybody for a job because I'm not anxious for a job. When I left from here, I went home. Nobody paid me anything. The 2 months I was there, teaching these young engineers how to do surveying. While I'm at it, if you guys got me in a position tonight that you will regret Samson to opening his mouth. You know who carry on surveying in Monrovia, in Liberia, right now? They're from Ghana, Ghanaians. And what kind of survey they give us? In the business in survey, they call it point survey. This is the row. They give you edge of row, center of row, edge of row. Then they move up. They give you a point, edge of row, center of row, they move up. And then when you're ready to do contour, if you understand what a contour is, they're not connecting. The triangulations is not there. The math is not there to connect this point to that point to triangulate so that you'll be able to have a decent contour. Most of the time when they do these road survey, they don't even give you ditches. They don't give, how do you then come out with a decent road design that will allow you to drain the water into the gutter if you don't know what the contour is doing? Because if you don't know what the contour is doing, you're not going to be able to find the spread. The spread of a road, water spread. Here's what they call water spread. You have a ditch. The water fill in the ditch that is spread out onto the roadway. Tires and water and coal tar, they don't mix. And that's why you want to drain. But if you don't have a proper contour, you can't drain out. Those are calculations. So you have Ghanaians that are doing survey in Liberia for Liberian engineers to design. And you know I've been involved. So I was sent a couple of roles. Sophie Clinic, Coca-Cola factory stuff, jobs like that. They send it here. I look at it. I've done one design that was able to find, okay, I'm going to take my time. These people give me 3 points as they go. So what do? I know this point. I know this other point. And I know what slope I want. I can calculate what the next elevation is going to be. That's small. But why should I do that when they're paying these Ghanaians so much money? And I'm doing it free. Why would I want to continue to do something free for them that I have to do double? So I refuse to do that. The point that I'm making here is this. Liberian, if we stop this argument, we will be able to help each other. You got Liberian engineers that are way, way, way better than me. There's no question asked. But some of them, I'll give you an example. There's another Liberian engineer here that I know, and I've had a lot of conversation with him. He went home, and the ICE came. He's a traffic engineer, and the ICE came. He said, yeah, I can help you, but I want X, Y, and Z. They don't have the money. He said, goodbye. He came back. There's another Liberian engineer, went home. They also wanted to help. The ICE came to help. He said, I want you to pay me. And the money he asking, they said they don't want to do it. So he said, goodbye. I, on the other hand, went home and they asked for a dime. And then they want me to pay them. Are you kidding me? You want Bloku to give you money? The man from Total will give you money? You got to be crazy. But why am I bringing these things up? We have to be genuine with each other. Let us understand that each of us have our own individual making. And if you're in a group setting, this is how my belief might be wrong. I'm not saying you should accept it, but this is what I believe as a member of a group. If you're in a group setting, your individual identity now blend into the group. If you present in a position as a group, that does not negate the fact that you are an individual with your own making, your own DNA, your thinking is different. What if I were to tell you right now, I told you, like, okay, outside the cloud, up there in the sky is all red. Who are you to tell me that what I'm looking at is red and you think I'm wrong? Who are you? You know what my vision is? You know what I'm looking at? Can you tell me truthfully? To say, no, that blue sky you're looking at, I say red, then you telling me it's blue. Your eyes are not my eyes. You see where I'm going with this? Even as ridiculous as it is. And this is why we continue to have this issue. Because we've refused to accept individualism among us. Individual among us will say some stuff here and there. But we must have the ability to understand that we, as a group, as a community, are not all equal. You got some people that takes longer time to understand where we want to go. And you got some people that don't, people like Alfonso so smart, he doesn't fool around with stupid people. He like stupid people. And he's stupid, he won't be bothered with you because he's wasting his time. We have another community, member in my own community, Rachel Manto. His thing is, don't waste my time. Because the young man is so smart. So you want people, not everybody will be at that level. You should be able to allow people to carry along with you. And if you do that, success is guaranteed. But if you think, how can Samson come out here and tell me the cloud is blue? I mean, it's red when I know it's blue. And the other person next to me knows it's blue. 7 people in a gathering say the sky is blue. Then he alone say it's red. And you know nothing, man. Let him get out of here. You're going to dismiss me because I believe what I believe. As a result of that, we have no tolerance about each other. And this is why when we have conflict among us, it can be dangerous. Because we do not believe that an individual has his own mind and that we should try our best to persuade Samson that the cloud we're looking at is blue by giving some evidence so that his mind, little mind, Samson little mind can wrap around that and be part of us. What will you want in this group? You can't kick me out because I'm a member of this group. But I'm saying the cloud is red. So if you dismiss me, does that mean my mind is no longer there? Why if? You dismiss me. We stop talking about it. But before you look, I become a leader with that kinds of mindset that the cloud is red. Now I start spreading that red mental cloud being red. I start spreading it around the member of the community. There will be people that will accept it. Samson too is a leader. He said cloud red, cloud red. But if you convince me now and show at this particular time, so by the time I get to your position, I will be on board. So please, don't ask me to condemn COP. I'm not going to condemn COP. Because COP, what they're doing, and I tell you this, I will predict to you, is COP, whether successful with the protests or not. First of all, let me just tell you this. From my own liberal progressive perspective, COP has won. What is the purpose of trying to protest? Is to bring attention to the cause. You want to tell me which one of us in this Liberian community, whether you're in the diaspora or you're back home, that the cause of the COP is not being enlightened. It's not being. There's a song Mr. Soul used to play. Atoya Tau Kane. You know what they call Tau? Okay. In the those of us from the countryside, no flashlights those days. And then when you leave in town, going to one place where you want to do it by night, you take bamboo and split it into small pieces, and you put the touch and you hold it. That will make you to see way ahead of yourself. You're not going to stump your foot, but you take that touch and start showing it on the road. So what COP has done, they have shown flashlight. In fact, forget flashlight. You know what kind of light did not show? Those light in the theater, they can show. They have illuminated the issue, most of the issue in Liberia. The government of the Republic of Liberia. Don't throw these people away. Embrace. They are your brothers and sisters. Embrace. These things that they are talking about, they are factual. Embrace. If you don't want to take what they're saying, put up a committee. Put up some sort of commission together. People come in. For international community. Let them look into your government, Dr. Weir. Most likely, they will come up with a recommendation that will relieve you of being responsible to fire friends, because you don't like to fire friends. That's not who you are, and we understand that. But with the recommendation from different people that will come and help you, because everybody in the whole world, when they say there's a small democracy, they want to help. Why do you think the international community spend all that money for Liberia? Because they don't want Liberia to be a failed state that will allow people to launch conflict from Liberia to these countries around Liberia. Folks, this is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. I think it's just I want to thank you all. I usually don't do this. I come out here, make my statement, and move on. But when Mr. Soul asked me to condemn COP statement that was made by an individual of COP, that I have to push back. With my own liberal voice, I have to push back, and I did. And the conservative, Liberian conservative, nobody will come on show and bring that thing again. I hope not. So anyway, Samson told Liberian Public Radio, folks, I want to thank all of you again tonight. It's been it's way past time. But before I leave, these are things that I truly believe we Liberians have the power. And yes, the other thing that I want to point out, since you've been knowing yourself, most of the conflict in Liberia, they usually start from here, then they go home. So why can't we have some serious discussion among ourselves? we're not making. I told you about an article from Washington Post that talks about Firestone. Firestone want to leave. What can we find means to process the rubber in Liberia and turn it to something rubber ready to make tires? Then we sell it to them. They take the latex like that, bring it to Firestone, then or take it to Japan, then they process it before they go making tire. Why can't we do something like that in Liberia? Don't tell me Liberians don't have the abilities. You got Liberian chemists all over the world. You got Liberian engineers all over working, making good money, making good decisions. You got Liberian accountants managing some of the huge company. You got Liberian lawyers working in this country, working in other part of the world, doing good. Integrity is intact. It can never be questioned. In fact, there's another Liberian here, Montana mayor, trying to be a senator for Montana. He's from Liberia. What makes you think that all of the schooling that you've been going through, all of your education, you think that for nothing? But how do you expect people to run back to Liberia to come? And here's what I think is happening. And I could be wrong. Before I take leave of you here this evening, this is what I think is happening. There are a certain group of Liberians that recognize that if they allow people freely to be free, truly free in Liberia, that you will have Liberians that have had the education will go back home, and these same people that have nothing to offer will stand no chance. In fact, they've been arguing that. Why will we allow you guys to come here and then take our job? I'm from Tool Town, for Christ's sake. What do you mean allow me to come back? Why you think I came here to come study in the first place? Except for the war. But before the war, many Liberians will leave Liberia to come to the United States or go anywhere to go study with the intent of going back. So why is it now you say, well, you want to take my job? And so these people, they're smart. They recognize that. So they want to make sure they continue to foment conflict. Because no trained mind, no good person who want to do stuff will want to go in an era where their safety becomes an issue. Nobody want to do that. In this country, you're safe. Right now, I'm talking to you here. You hear no policeman coming to knock to my door. I can say right now, if I want to discuss American politics, Donald Trump and the Senate and the representative and everything, as long as I don't bring threats, I will speak my mind. Yeah, you say, yeah, Tona, let you and Donald Trump say you buy food to take American politics. Donald Trump say, hey, you, where you come from? From one of those, countries that he talk about? I stay away from that one. I don't touch American politics. I don't like politics. Folks, I want to thank all of you again tonight to say thank you very much. I'm just telling you again. I want to thank all of you, Mr. So. Thank you very much for challenging me and making people all over the world to know how liberal I am. I'm a liberal progressive. I want to thank you very much. Again, folks, Samson told LeBron Public, I want to thank all of you again. Before I leave, please let us continue to pray for one another. Today, I said I was going to do some sort of a year-in review where I will come and say why, giving you different video and pictures and things, why we're here, how did we get here. I was going to do that. But I thought to myself, I consider myself to be big brother, and so you don't come out and try to stir out confusion, because some of the video that I have, they're all that's not something you want. If you want to make peace, those are not video you play. So I thought to myself, I'm not going to touch those. Okay, so I'm not going to play those anymore. But I will continue to ask you to pray. Let's pray for one another. Let's pray for our leader, and let's pray for the protesters themselves. And let us pray that God will find way again that these people don't get in the street. Because the government seems bent on these people not getting in the street. And from all indication about reading the article here today, the government, we pray that these people don't get in the street. All right? Let me get out of here, but before I do, let me do this.
Cairo.
Okay, folks, that's it. That's it. We want to thank all of you and your participation this evening. It's been a wonderful, wonderful show. We appreciate it. We thank you very much. Please don't be a stranger to LPR. As you were correctly stating, some of you, your view are very important to all of us. And everything that we say here tonight is not based on envious or jealousy or what have you. Those are truth that we believe in. And I'm not saying you should accept it. Far from it. Challenge me, just like Mr. Soul did here tonight. And I will be glad to engage. But please, don't stay away. Thank you for your continued support of LPR, because when you come in and watch us, it gives us the strength to do what we're doing. Whatever it costs to make sure that our platform stay on air. It costs a lot of money, to be honest with you. Some of the things we do here, many people on the social media are not able to do those things. Right now, I can sit here right now and bring out another video that have nothing to do with the show. I can let people stay in any part of the United States, and they can send me video, and I'll bring it on the platform here. So there's a lot of things we do here on Liberian Public Radio, and I want to thank all of you because your continued support give us the courage to do these things. And I want to thank the LPR management, the CEO, the station manager, Mr. Nathaniel Cryport, the CEO, Mr. Alfonso Zenso, for your continuing leadership. And through that, we will continue to do what we can to make sure LPR has a good platform. We don't agree on a lot of things, and we just demonstrated to here tonight. LPR, if you join LPR, not a yes man stuff. You have the right to disagree, even with the CEO. And I think we show you, and we'll continue to show that. So I want to thank all of you, and I'll say good night to all of you. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time. Please tune in Sunday for Freedom Wife with Mr. Soul. He was off yesterday doing some serious investigation or whatever. And Sunday, folks, just tune into Mr. Soul show. I mean, you saw his conservative view here, and he not only is he conservative, but he doesn't pull punches either, and he doesn't take prisoners. So he's not like one of those liberal voices you go out there and he lays, let me. No. He engaged. He wants you to be truthful. He engaged and will give you information that are genuine and truthful as well. He enlightens you very much so. So tune in on Sunday, Freedom Watch, and you will be able to enjoy yourself. Thank you very much, and we'll say good night to all of you.
Mafuyole,
My way.